Game day mode here on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show, Season 5, Leaf edition of our program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandeo. We are live on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 590, The Fan in Toronto, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Always, if you can't catch us live, there is Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. The Toronto Maple Leafs get set to take a crack at a regulation win against Columbus tonight, something that they haven't had since November 5th.
Is that right? Regulation wins are hard to come by this year.
Really hard.
But not even just for the Leafs, who have their problems.
No, the whole league is going into overtime.
Yeah. You look at the standings, and I was like, God, the Colorado Avalanche are unbelievable. They've won like half their games in regulation or something.
Aaron Portzline, who covers the Blue Jackets for The Athletic, will join us in about 35 minutes. We'll get a feel for what the Leafs could be facing tonight with that hockey club. In the meantime, lineup changes, but not enough that we'll see Auston Matthews back or Stolarz back. Where do you guys want to start?
Well, Scott Laughton's back. That's a nice little piece of news. I guess that's about it. But I think the biggest story of the day is the Stolarz news. Coach Craig Berube came out and said something to the effect of, upon review, the injury is more serious than we initially thought. And that, to me, is news of the concerning variety.
The clips in, boys.
Oh, okay.
There's no question that there has to be a level of frustration out there for Leaf fans when it comes to just the information or the misinformation.
What do you mean? Like, we looked into this upon review, it's more serious. We didn't look at the injury when it first happened. We didn't do. There was so much swelling, we couldn't see if it was injured or not. What are we talking about?
Today, my first article that I wrote for the Toronto Star this season, I was on a Blue Jay vacation for a little while, which I didn't mind at all. But today I wrote about Auston and just the mysterious kind of scenarios that we've been accustomed to the last few years around a bit of the mystery of when he goes, how long he goes, for what exactly. There seems to be a little level of acceptance there. And now it seems like Stolarz is kind of falling in that. And to your point, I think it's just in the messaging that is really frustrating. And to your point, if we are talking about, how did you say it, upon further review? Or
we have play Derek Anthony Stolarz clips, Berube clip 7.
Are we good?
Obviously, worse than we thought. And, he's not ready to get on the ice yet and do the things that he's needed to do. So hopefully it's soon. I mean, I really don't have a timetable for him. Like, maybe tomorrow he'll be on the ice. I'm not sure.
Was there a setback at all? Or
No, there wasn't. I just didn't, we weren't sure at the time what it was, the seriousness of it. That's kind of where we're at.
So when he says worse than we thought, is that you as a coach? Is that your medical staff? Like, who?
Presumably the medical staff. Like, it doesn't matter what the coach thinks. So they misdiagnosed him, or something happened between then and now that has made it worse. Like, there's so many different scenarios. But when Brad Treliving went and did his press conference, he talked about a disconnect, right? Mm-hmm.
It feels like the disconnect is off the ice too when it comes to this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Or they just blatantly they're not truthful about it.
I don't believe that for a second. I really don't.
Okay, can I ask you something, Sammy?
So it was, just for context, it was November 11th, the game that both Stolarz and Matthews left that game, right? And after the game, they said Stolarz was nothing serious.
Mhm.
And then, Matthews would be about a week. So it's now November 20th, and Matthews is just getting back on the ice. Stolarz has not been back on the ice.
So you and probably a lot of other Leaf fans think they're lying. You've said that before.
Lying's strong.
You've used that
sure.
word before on our show.
Fibbing.
Okay, fibbing.
False truth.
Less than truthful.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is, let me ask you something.
Uh-huh.
If that's true,
Uh-huh.
where is the benefit for the Toronto Maple Leafs to do that? Because I don't see one. I don't see one to come out and not be truthful, as you put it today.
I think they're probably worried about the reaction to saying Auston Matthews has something that's going to keep him out long term, and they just want to kick the can down the road day by day and keep people wondering.
That is never going to work.
Well, I know, but that's what
I
I
can't
think
believe that they would believe that to be true.
Well, they said it was a week,
Do you,
maybe less.
JB,
and now
do you see any benefit to being less than truthful?
None. I don't see
Okay.
any benefit at all.
I don't. I think they're saying how they feel. Like there's a level of frustration. You can hear it in Craig Berube's voice. And I think where they get in trouble is the maybe tomorrow or maybe 2 weeks from now. But people will remember the maybe tomorrow.
Do you think there's a chance that because this is not something with a clear timeline, that this is almost a way for them to publicly pressure the player to say, come on, like if it's not never going to be 100%, let's get going here. Let's get you back out there. I've talked with coaches in the past. I was, been in coaches' offices and heard the conversations around injuries. And there are times where you go, he could play. I know he could play. I've seen him practice. I know whatever. Some guys need to push. I wonder if some of this is them publicly being like, come on. Let's go.
Again, I don't see the benefit of doing that and putting your star player in a position of kind of having the media, the fans, and me looking at you going, let's go.
Okay. So then to boil this down, the only other real options are they sincerely have no idea.
That's makes the most sense out of anything I've heard so far.
So the player himself has no idea. Can't tell, can't feel, doesn't know if he's close. Austin, how you feeling today? I don't know.
You want to hear how the conversation between Matthews and Berube went? Let's play that clip, Derek. I'm not sure which number it is. Clip number 6, please.
Well, it's good to see him out there with us and, just talking to him. He's feeling a lot better, and I thought he was shooting the puck pretty well, so that's a good sign.
Timetable?
No, not yet. Maybe later I'll get one.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And that was the gist of my article today. You can find it on my X account, Real Kyper, Toronto Star. But there's a level of frustration right now that's I get that we don't reveal injuries anymore, right? Upper body, lower body, that's it. I get that. But it's now starting to work against a guy like Auston, to your point, where if there is some subtle messages right now from the coach now going, yeah, I think you should play tomorrow, or I really feel like tomorrow's the day, and you don't show up, all it's doing is just going to put more weight on this guy's shoulders. And if he's not ready to come back and he's the only one keeping himself out of the lineup, I think that's just too much pressure and too much stress on a guy that you need.
Yeah.
So yesterday, or I don't know, we do this every day. One of the days this week, the update was, maybe it was even Treliving that said probably won't play against Columbus, probably won't play on Saturday, so 2 games. No, I don't think it was Blues in Columbus.
Yeah, it was Tuesday, Thursday, maybe Saturday.
And then we went from that to, I had a conversation with him. He looks pretty good shooting it, to no timetable.
By the way, why shouldn't he look good shooting it if it's a lower body injury?
I don't know.
Anyway.
See, this.
Yeah. But so, I look at Matthews.
Maybe later I'll get one.
I look at Matthews. I'm looking at his, his career page here. The last in 21-22, he played 73 of 74 games. He missed 9. The year after that, he played 74 games. He missed 8. Year after that, he missed 1. So over 3 years, they're pretty good. Last year, he missed 15.
We presumed the same injury. So initially, when he went to Germany, he missed 9.
Yeah.
And then there was a reoccurring that cost him, I think, another half a dozen games.
But I think he missed 15 total all year.
Yeah.
So, not a ton of games over a 4-year span there. He missed like 25 hockey games or something like that. Not terrible. This year he's played 17 of 19 if they played, or 20? 20. They played 20 games. So he's missed 3 games.
Yeah.
The crux of your article today is partially they may need to trade this guy because they're not sure about injury.
I think if there's another year like last year where we sit here and contemplate, even when he's in the lineup, that he's not 100% or he's protecting an injury, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. And
no, of course.
And then the other factor is you're only 2 years away from his contract.
Mm-hmm.
And the big difference between last year and this year, tell me what the biggest difference is.
Between last year and this year.
Yeah.
He's playing worse?
No. They still found a way to be successful. They still found a way to look okay without him. They won the Atlantic Division.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're in a window now where if he misses the same amount of games that he did last year, and it's the difference between making the playoffs and missing the playoffs, now we're talking about a whole new ball game.
Yeah, it's one thing to miss Auston Matthews. It's one thing to then miss Matthews and Marner, which it is this year.
And
with the same
and
team.
chase a playoff spot all year and then come down to the wire and miss it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll speak for, I guess, what a lot of Leafs fans would say is there's just not many guys on the planet who do what this guy does. And so to be
Used
like,
to do.
But not lately.
Used to do.
But not lately. Not for maybe perhaps 2 consecutive seasons.
guy's on pace for 40 goals this year.
I know. And they're on pace now with a less than 15% chance to make the playoffs. That's the new part.
That sounds unlikely.
I don't think that's
Yeah,
is that
it's
true?
very low.
Oh, go to don't they have that puck?
I've seen under 50%. I haven't
No,
seen less
I
than
think it was-
15.
I think it was down to 10.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, please.
Yeah.
Take a look.
What site were you? But anyway,
money pucks. Which one is it?
Kypreos.com.
Anyway,
Anyways,
I'll find
okay.
some of that.
All right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
My point here is just like it's just an insane thing to suggest that you would get better by then moving on, unless you think there is a massive package to be fetched. But if you think this guy's too hurt to fetch him to be good, he's not going to do that for you.
Moneypuck.com has the Leafs making the playoffs percentage at 11.2%.
Oh gosh, I was so far off.
No, listen,
I was so far off.
no, I can't believe that. That is stunning. I'll see what I can come up with on different sites.
That one's the one that everybody goes to.
Is it? I don't know. I don't go to any of them.
I'll take The Athletic over moneypuck.com, but
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, that's stunning to me that they're 11.2%. Stunning. Like I know they've stunk, but I don't think they stink.
I don't know
that
what
bad.
I'm just telling you what's out there.
Yeah.
All right. That's all. I don't know what the case is, but
The Flyers currently have a better chance to make the playoffs according to Moneypuck than the Leafs.
I do believe that there'd be a lot more to think about moving forward, and for him as well. If this team misses the playoffs and they're in a rebuild, and he's got 2 years left on his deal, and he's eligible to sign as early as one more season, it gives him something to think about too. Look at the scenario that Connor McDavid's in, right? Won't give him a long-term deal. Money's not important. Like it definitely changes the dynamics of the future of the Toronto Maple Leafs as we looked at it as early as last season, compared to a team now that many people believe that a window could be closing here.
Yeah. I guess, Kip, it's one of those things where you project a full season of this and his injury problems continue and they miss playoffs
Yeah,
and,
there's a lot of-
and
yeah.
all the worst things happen,
Yeah.
then yeah, you certainly have some arrangements to make. Now, if you don't live in an utter dystopia and something goes okay one day in your life,
Yeah.
maybe he's healthier, he looks a little better, the team wins a few games
Yeah.
without him, you trade for another good piece. This is a very doomsday thought.
He can't, but he cannot. It can't duplicate last season. Is my point. We cannot watch this guy even come back and utter the words, "Is he playing hurt?"
Mhm.
Like they gotta find a way to get rid of that vibe or that narrative. Can't do it 2 years in a row.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Like, do you really believe that we're gonna see what we used to see out of him?
No,
ever
I
again?
don't. I don't think you're going to see a Hart Trophy winner. Was he 29 years old?
28,
28,
29? Yeah.
No, yeah, you're not going to see a Hart Trophy winner, but the elite players are good for so long.
Mhm.
Like, you guys see Alex Ovechkin in his undergear in the dressing room for the Washington Capitals? He looks, if he were my best friend, I'd be like,
Beer league?
dude, get on the treadmill.
There's a couple. I play
You
Thursday
need to
mornings.
tighten it up.
There's
Beer
multiple.
league. He's got beer league look right
Yeah.
there.
And I know
there's
you're gonna,
multiple better bodies at my beer league skate.
and I know you're going to go, he's not Alex Ovechkin.
He's also
but
40.
Fine, he's not. Well, he's probably 43 or 4. If we're being honest. But like Matthews scores at a rate like Ovechkin. The elite players, they do this for a long time. And the idea that Matthews, outside of injury, now I'm saying the guys do it for a long time who are healthy.
Yeah.
So do you think he's going to play 10 more years in the league and become a 20-goal scorer, a 30-goal scorer?
No, I don't think that.
I think he's so talented that he could get away with scoring 30 to 40 goals a
For
year.
a decade.
Yeah.
But I think it's a different conversation from like what he's going to be
Yeah.
and what he's going to be here.
Yeah.
And like how having the history of what's happened and the years and years of it not working and the relationship changing, his game changing,
Yeah.
the lack of assets that you
Okay.
have for the lease. Like I understand all that.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I'm not completely opposed. For the first
here's-
time in my life,
Yeah.
I'm not completely opposed to what he's talking
This
about.
is
That's what I'll say.
see, like you're giving me a scenario where he could still score 35 or 40 goals and maybe even look the way he's looked lately, which is fine if he's your third or fourth most important. But you can't tell me that you'd be happy with a 35 or 40 goal scorer and watching him play the way he plays and still make me believe that you can build a championship team around that.
I think, there's a reality here where we look around this league every day and there's not enough good players to go around. We watch some teams some nights and go, God, give me one. And I just don't see a scenario where you go, the old Family Guy line about, winning a boat or the mystery box.
Yeah.
It could be anything, even a boat.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to trade Auston Matthews for picks and go, maybe we'll get Auston Matthews. Maybe we'll get a 40-goal guy who can win faceoffs. He's a great player. You're not better without him. So here, we just had Mitch Marner here who left, and they took the money and got Michelli, Waugh, and Joshua. And you're going, you're not better. So I don't know the answer to building around him outside of the cap goes up and you find a way.
Yeah, to bring in some support guys for him.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't think.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid hasn't won the Stanley Cup yet. He's the best player on the planet and has been for a long time.
And they're struggling just like the Toronto Maple Leafs. But he looks more like Connor McDavid than Auston looks like Auston.
Yeah. But I'm just saying everyone needs help. Like he's not. Last night I did that Oilers game and him and Leon were unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the team was stinky.
There's a lot of parallels between the Leafs and Oilers right now.
Well, yeah, there are. And I don't.
It's like Leafs West.
By the way,
watching
I
them.
want to acknowledge that the Matthews McDavid scenarios are parallels. That Matthews is just as likely, if not more likely, to leave here than McDavid is Edmonton.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
I got them parallel.
Yeah. Like, I think there is a above 50% chance that Auston Matthews plays hockey for someone in the Southwest U.S. in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair.
There has to be a reason other than taking another crack at being a top player for short-term deals for him. It's always, I think in the back of his mind, it's always a nice option that I could get out earlier than committing 8 years if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it's, we're going to be doing this show in 3 years, assuming they still like us, right? There's a lot of ifs.
They're
There's a
going
lot
to
of
retire
ifs.
me faster than that, buddy.
Okay, well, let's say we're doing it in 3 years. It's tough to see a world where we're like, they moved off from Matthews and Marner, and look at them now.
Yeah.
It's the Cowan show.
A rebuild show?
Somebody texted
Flex Seal.
A rebuild
somebody
season?
texted the text line and said, "Is the next captain for the Leafs to raise the Stanley Cup not born yet?" ? I was like, "Oh my god!"
You know.
In the meantime,
Oh my god!
all right. In the meantime,
That was uplifting.
Just do.
listen.
Well,
This is really listen. I don't want to get too far off on the original topic. Also, is this inability just to come out and just reassure the fans that our players aren't healthy. We're going to get them better, and there's just a kind of an easy explanation to tidy up the question marks.
Maybe the PR team has nothing to work with because the doctors are giving them nothing. Maybe they need new doctors. I don't know.
But like
You got no answers. You finding stuff a week later.
at some point,
And it's not helping Auston. It is probably not going to help Stolarz here, too.
but like it's not just those two guys. Half the team is day to day. Day to day, missing his second straight game tonight.
Look around the league.
Listen,
Everyone is.
okay,
right now.
and that's fair.
day to day.
That's fair.
He's missing like it's.
but
At some point,
so if it's not a
the
Leaf,
benefit of the doubt has to.
if it's not a Leaf issue, then it's a league issue.
And
But
so it's an
I-
Olympics issue.
We know that guys are out. The most normal kind of window frame is always 4 to 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
You break a bone,
Mhm.
4 to 6 weeks.
Mhm.
Yet, when they know it's 4 to 6 weeks, they like saying week to week
Mhm.
on 4 to 6 weeks. That's the new thing now.
Yeah.
Week to week.
Why?
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens with week to week? I'm coming right back in your face
Next
in
week.
1 week, and I'm going to say, where is he?
That's actually.
And
There's,
then you turn around and say week to week, and then I do it in 2 weeks when you know he's out minimum a month.
all right, I got 37.7% chance for Leafs making playoffs from the Athletic.
All right.
Much lower than I thought before we were talking today.
I thought it was around 30-40%. The 11 on Money Puck.
They won
was-
their last
I
match.
read 10 or 11.
Well,
Money-
you were right. You did.
Money Puck
Yeah.
hit with 11 hit me like a punch in the face, boys. That was a right
11's
hook.
not correct. That's one of those ones where you look at your model and go, we got to do some work.
Anyways, that's an issue.
Yeah.
That's an issue. And we see commercials where they want us to go bet and put money on this. And it's like, okay, well, I thought he was going to come back in a week. I thought he would be available. It's like we know what the NFL feels about revealing injuries and being as transparent as they can. And a lot of that has been revolved around their betting world.
Right.
But we don't feel like we have any obligation
This is
to
going to
give
change,
you
isn't it?
from 0 to 2 months.
I don't know. I think there's a
We got to turn
winter.
the page on this soon here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, like this conversation?
We're beating this up bad.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can leave. That's
Okay.
fine. Not have
But-
I just would like, I think
Yeah.
people would prefer just to know as opposed to being like, maybe he's playing tonight. It's like
Yes.
another couple days.
Same with you're buying a ticket for a game. It's
Yes.
nice to know.
But anyways, so we'll just keep guessing, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So the guys that we know are in.
Scott
Right.
Lawton's back.
Scott Lawton's back.
Save the day, Scotty Lawton.
I would say the lineup looks better with him in it.
Sure does.
It like, you know,
Cowan, Lawton, Lorenz. Lots to like there.
that's
So-
a line they did in preseason.
Lots to like.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Jan Kruk goes from a healthy scratch to playing with your 2 top point producing players. He's gone from 4th line,
Yeah.
3rd line,
Yeah.
healthy scratch, top line.
No one has been given more confusing messaging this year than Yarncroc. Can I tell you what they like about him? He's the adult in the room. They're like, we can trust that he'll go try to do the things we're asking them to do. We trust him.
Seal and stop leak fast.
Really, very seldom do you see a healthy scratch guy jump into the top line.
Yeah.
There's usually like 2 or 3 guys in the lineup
Cowan and
that
Domi
you
are
push
doing it
up
too.
there before you go to your healthy scratch list.
Yeah.
What would we have put the chance when we signed off on? I guess our last show in the summer was July 4th. What would we have put the chances of him even being here?
Well, it was a
involved?
lot of. Well, they're going to trade the offseason was all. They're going to trade the contracts of Kampf, Yarncroc. All these guys. Yarncroc was in there every.
And now when you have half your forward core, he's playing on the top line and top power play. And
He
you're
played
like, good
19
thing.
and a half minutes last game.
Do you want to hear what the coach likes about Yarncroc?
Very much so.
Let's do.
Well, he's a valuable guy. He does a lot of things out there night in, night out that go unnoticed, that we notice, but maybe you guys don't or the fans. He's a good penalty killer. He's a hard worker. He just does, he does a lot of little things right all over the ice. And he can complement any line in certain ways, he's valuable.
Compliments any line. He does little things that we can't see.
He's a Band-Aid. You're like, okay, well, we're bleeding pretty bad here. Let's just
I love
put this
that
on
player.
there and
I love the guy.
see if it helps. That's good.
This is a guy that they try to trade.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like
Right.
I would never have thought that we'd be having these conversations about him still, but he's been a useful guy for them. And he was hurt for most of last year, right? Like hernia kind of thing.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
out for most of the year.
Yeah.
Sports hernia, whatever that
I'd
means.
like to see Quillen tonight kind of drag Joshua and Michelli into a few areas of the ice.
Yeah, Michelli. You want to see him dragged into areas?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Well,
I'd be happy.
I like Quillen.
I like Quillen too. I've
I
also
like his
decided
energy. I like he can
he's big.
skate.
He's actually 6'1", 204.
He can move.
At least if he just knows what
He's
he is, and he'll
noticeable.
run into
I
people, and had
notice
a great
him.
college career. This is a very similar profile to what Bobby McMahon was. Came out of university as a guy who had success scoring goals and maybe has to find himself in the minors. Bobby was a 26-year-old rookie, could skate, would run into people. Next McMahon, Quillen.
I love that.
Okay.
Feels like there's such a negative hour here, but maybe I'm just in a negative mood. I
No,
don't know.
we're good.
But no, you're looking at this lineup with half your regular forwards out, and your fourth line has 2 of your biggest offseason acquisitions playing on the opposite sides of a call up from the Marlies. You're hoping pull them into it. You needed hoping for so much more from those guys.
I would say that has to be fundamentally the most disappointing part of the season. Goaltending hasn't been great,
No.
but it was weird, right? Woll had his thing, and that
Yeah.
kind of put Stolarz in a tough spot.
Yeah.
So give that a pass. The most disappointing thing has been 3 new guys. Surely one of them will have success.
And none of them really had success.
I think I'm not writing those guys off. There's flashes here and there where I'm like, all right, okay, but we're not there yet.
I am a little concerned on Joseph Wall coming back and going from 0 training camp, a couple games with the Marlies, and now it's your ball. Go with it now.
Well,
So there's 2 schools of thought. Hey, he's rested. He feels great. He's looked good. Just play him. Just play him right now. But I think they should have probably given more thought on maybe not playing him tonight.
hasn't he played 2 games?
Played 2 games.
Yeah, I know. But 2's going to turn into 4 by Saturday
Yeah.
night.
Okay.
And I just think from a guy going from 0 to 4 of 4 and everything he's been through, I'm just not. I don't want them to make the same mistake that they made with Stolarz,
I think
which
I said
they
this yesterday.
admitted. Yes,
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
I think it's also like
you're right.
we've been careful with, kind of stepping around the Wool thing and what his absence was and whatever. And I understand that we're trying to be respectful, but I think it's a lot to heap back on a guy if a lot of it is not physical.
Yes.
To say, thank God you're here. We're winning again. We need you. We can't do this without you.
He's been awesome. He's
I
been
know
awesome.
he has, and I know they need wins.
But I'm not listen, the coach is like, yeah, we better, everybody's calling for my job and we're out of a playoff spot.
Put him
And it's
in.
like-
'Cause
they're like, well, we better play Hildeby because he's not feeling right. Like, what are we talking about here?
No, we're
It's
talking
not.
about you have to do it,
there's
but it's a risk.
there
Of
has
course,
to be somebody in the room has to look at a bigger picture than just get the 2 points tonight.
Well,
somebody has to.
who?
I don't
The
know.
general manager?
Somebody. It's worth a conversation. It's worth a thought. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying that even us earlier in the year have always said, like, you just can't take Stolarz and give him all these games and expect a guy that's been injury prone in the past not to maybe have it catch up to him.
So you're worried about like physical injury?
Yes,
Okay.
all of it.
Okay.
All of it.
Yeah,
and he
like
has a reputation of being injury prone. This is what you were getting to.
Yes, it is.
I understand,
And
but
you can't go from 0 to Mach 3 even on this guy.
Well,
you
being
got to be
second-
careful. If they lose this guy, we know it's over.
Well, hold on. You would play him tonight and Saturday if you were the coach.
I would think about Hildeby tonight and then Wall in Montreal. If just let's just say he
Oh my God.
Listen,
He's
just tell me
he
something.
had 2 months off. He was play him.
If by chance
Oh.
it doesn't go well tonight against Columbus, I'd rather have Wall than Hildeby in Saturday night. You may, if he has a rough night tonight, if Wall has a rough, you got to go to Hildeby in Montreal.
No, you're going back with Wall regardless.
Wall's making
then
6
it's
straight
just,
starts.
it's just you're taking a bit of a risk right now of piling up so much so soon on Joseph Wall. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a risk. And I think it's one the coach is willing to take.
Well,
Apparently.
let's say the bet.
I mean, I'd be playing him every game.
Buddy,
He's looked awesome.
you've got an 11% chance of making playoffs there. I have found up to 45% as their best
Nice.
odds on a different venue.
Oh, nice.
That's our range. 11 to 45% chance on average. They're estimated to get 87 points this year. So I think you're willing to take some risks at this point.
Yeah,
it's a
like-
risk, but you got to take a few.
You may be hooped with him starting.
Yeah.
Like, he gets hurt. Oh, they're screwed. They may already be screwed.
Okay, let's go to Craig Berube on Wall's energy level that he loves so much, along with Sammy's.
Yes.
Clip.
He's come back.
He seems fine, and that's a good rest day for him yesterday. And then, but he feels good and feels like he's got great energy out there. So it's good to hear from him.
Yeah.
All
Great
right.
energy. Ready to rock. 6 straight starts.
Go get him.
Tonight, Saturday, next Wednesday in Columbus, next Friday in Washington. 6 straight starts. Playing goalie.
Full
The-
practices.
The NHL goalie playing goalie.
Get him
in
in
6
front of the
straight
media.
games
Yeah,
that
yeah.
have no back-to-backs involved. He's playing.
All right.
He's the NHLer.
You heard
All
it
right.
here first.
Maybe they should give Akhtiamov a start. Maybe Hildeby's feeling a little bit under the weather, too. They should give Akhtiamov a go, too.
It's a long
You
season,
you
pal.
might be. I bet.
Not for Craig Berube.
You're going to see AA at some point.
Not for Craig Berube. Like, it's
Yeah.
a long season.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you are. Akhtiamov will start a game this year.
Yeah, probably.
Could be this month.
When Wall gets hurt tonight,
wanna hear
everybody's
him?
mad at
What are we doing
me.
here?
Want
Let's
to
go.
hear
No, let's go.
Berube talking about the energy off of
We got to
A
go. We
big
got
win.
40 on the other side of the
Oh,
road.
do we?
Gotta go.
All
Yeah,
right.
Let's go.
producer said it.
Yeah, no,
Aaron Portzline from The Athletic talking Columbus Blue Jackets when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back to the Real Kyper and Bourne show. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Aaron Portzline set to join us from The Athletic. Aaron, how are you?
Doing well, guys. Thanks. How are you?
We're good. We're good. I think it was fairly successful, the last time Fantilli and company came into Toronto. Just in terms of the first 20 games or so, pretty much where we thought that this team would continue to push. We know how close they came to the playoffs last season, but
Yeah.
how would the overall assessment be in the first 20 games?
Yeah, kind of choppy. I saw actually Fantilli's father tonight. I asked if his mom was going to be warming up before the game with the old hat toss. She was the first one over the glass last time. A pretty impressive throw too. Yeah, they've been really up and down, and I think they are right to feel this way. There's some games that have gotten away from them that they really had control of. They had a game in Edmonton where they're up by 2 goals they had a power play, I want to say with 2 minutes, with 2:18 left, a power play and still gave up a shorthanded goal late in that game to tie it. They've done that against the Islanders. They really gave a point away to Montreal the other night in Columbus. So they're in that stretch right now. They've gone through this before where they get nervous late in games where they've got a lead. Not a good look, and it gets a little bit worse every time until you start to get through it with regularity. So I would say they're a C-plus team, a B-minus team right now based upon what their expectations were coming out of last season. Just they play hard, they're in most games, but they really haven't fired yet, fully in gear, have not fired on all cylinders yet, for sure.
We went into the season with Steve Alliquette predicting Jet Greaves as the NHL's breakout goalie of the year. We had people up here in Canada talking about him for Team Canada now. Is it just me? I don't know. This guy's getting close. He's been handed the reins there by and large, has he not, as the starting goaltender?
Yeah, for the first month it was back and forth, literally. For I think it was 15 games it went, and neither one of them had consecutive starts. And then Greaves has grabbed it. He's back in tonight against the Leafs. Merzlikins played in Winnipeg. This will be, I want to say, 6 and 7 for Greaves. So you are right. You are right to look at him as the number one. Dean Evison, coaches get weird, right? Like he won't say it. He's not talking about who his goalie is. They just decide every day who's going to start and yada, yada. But 6 out of 7 is proof enough for me. It looks like he's the number one guy here. Should be, too.
So much attention as it should be on a guy like Fantilli tonight, but Marchenko continues to be this all-world kind of power guy. How high is his ceiling, Aaron?
Yeah, well, I think he's a 40-goal guy this year. I think it can go from there. He continues to elevate. Like, it's really impressive. I think some of those guys, Fantilli would probably tell you it's been a bit of a slow start until recently for him. Kent Johnson's been kind of searching for his game all along. Voronkov's been there, but nothing dramatically different from last year. Marchenko has really elevated, and he had a really good year last year, and to build on that is something. He looks like a guy who wants to be the offensive leader every night. He's got a great release. The one thing that's changed starting last year and to an even more dramatic extent this year is how ferocious he is battling for pucks. When he first got to the league, scored 20 goals in each of his first 2 seasons, but he was the guy that waited in the left circle for somebody else to win the puck back and feed him. Let me shoot. Now he's going to get it himself. The way he's built, he's a tall guy. He's not really a power forward in the way that he doesn't really, physical contact. He doesn't shy away from it, but he doesn't initiate it either in terms of a physical sense. But to watch him battle for pucks is impressive. He wins most battles, and it's really gone up on that level specifically over the last couple of years.
So every time the Leafs bring a new team to town, fans scour their roster for players they can have because they need help here in Toronto right now. How's Chinakhov? How's things?
Yeah, if you would like Chinakhov, let me give you Waddell's number when we when we part here.
When's that trade happening?
Yeah, and I know, like, let's do something. Like, it's kind of both ways. There's a little frustration, like, what are you doing with this kid? Mm-hmm. But also, what is the kid doing? Right? Like, they put him in a top 6 role the other night in Montreal. And I've heard from players through the years that when you're in that sort of spot he's in, when you're in and out, when you're not sure what your role is, and you finally get that opportunity, obviously you can't bank on scoring a goal or having a big offensive. Now, you need things to happen for that. I get it. But you want to play a loud game. You want to be noticeable. You want to be seen in some way. And he just wasn't against Montreal in that game in Columbus. I don't think he played poorly, but there was no aha moment. He's had him in the past. As Zach Werenski said today, last season, the first 6 weeks of the season, he was probably their best forward. Werenski, their best player, but Chinakhov was right there as a forward. He was fantastic. And he's done that a few times in his early career. But there is something amiss there. I don't know if – I know he's asked to be traded. I know the Blue Jackets have listened to calls. But I'm not sure if he's given up on the situation. But there are times when you start to think he has.
Right.
Aaron, what's it like watching Olivier play hockey on most nights here and just watching a few opponents on the other side actually pooping their pants?
Yeah. And There are other elements to this too. Like the other night, I think it was Montreal. No, it was Rangers. They were playing pretty sleepy, playing like crap the first period or so. And he screams down the bench to his defenseman, who he knows are going out with him on the next shift. He tells him to put the puck in my corner because he wants to hit somebody. And God did he. Robertson, the poor kid with the Rangers. He is the king of the hill, knows he's the king of the hill, right? King of the jungle, I might say. And he's starting to play like it. Hey, guys, they lean on him. He's not a fourth line guy. Typically, you see fighters in that capacity. He's very much a third line guy, part of a checking line for them. That's probably been, if not their best line. It's hard for me to say that with the way Voronkov and Marchenko have gone. But that third line with Coyle in the middle, Sillinger on the left, and Olivier on the right, they use it in checking role against the best opponents. Dean Evison plays them way more than you might expect a typical third line to play. God, I even see Olivier out for 3-on-3 overtime. I'm not sure I understand that, but I saw him out for 3-on-3 overtime recently. Like Dean Evison loves this guy almost irrationally, but I kind of get it because he's a better player than you expect from most fighters, but he's a better fighter than just about anybody else in the league too.
You're watching and listening to Aaron Portzline, who covers the Blue Jackets for The Athletic. So just quickly here, you think it's realistic that Olivier could be looking at this season 40 to 45 point season? Is that out of the realm?
It might be, given the way that he started. 18 goals last season. That is probably, I don't want to say it's going to be a career high, but that's up there for him. I think he's a 10-12 guy goals-wise, so probably a 30-point guy. And I predicted before the season that his fight total might be down because I think once a guy reaches that level, there are teams that just decide not to even go there. Why even bring that into the game? But I think he's had 4 already this season, so maybe he does get there. He led the league last year.
Columbus gets some offense from their back end, something the Toronto Maple Leafs don't get. Is that built into their offense at all, using the points?
I think it was more last year. They seemed more engaged. I mean, Werenski is Werenski. He always is. Like, it almost doesn't matter the system. He's up in the play, like way up in the play. And there will be times with he and Fabro, they're not together now, where you would see both of those guys, not just below the dots, below the goal line, right? Like, okay, easy. Now he's with Provorov, and Provorov, I think, understands maybe more than some of the others how to play with Werenski, where your tendency is to stay back. Like, he's going to be the guy up on his toes, up in the play, carrying the puck, leading the breakout. You don't see that from a lot of defensemen. But yeah, they get it. And I think Matejchuk, I think the points are going to come from Matejchuk too. Like right now, he's in don't get beat mode, conservative mode. He's a really good tight space skater, not an incredible straight line skater necessarily, but his agility is incredible. Moves the puck really well. I think the points are coming for him. Eventually, he'll probably be the number 2 power play guy here. But for now, it's a lot of those points on the D that don't come from Werenski are the passes to Werenski before the points. Like that's kind of where it generates, is the second assist.
Looking forward to the game tonight, Aaron. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks
for having
Forty.
me.
Appreciate it.
Aaron Portzline, The Athletic.
Wanted to make sure we get this in because last week I forgot to do it, and
You get in trouble?
no.
You always
lives
get in
in
trouble.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
I'm a bad boy, you know. Leafs line. We didn't do the Leafs line last week because we didn't have any calls because I didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So call the Leafs line. You're seeing it on your screen there. 416-413-4141.
Yeah.
Leave us a message.
Yeah, positive ones too, right?
Well, listen, we have some
Come
creative
on, Tammy,
callers.
You guys are so negative.
Oh,
Pick up the phone and start dialing.
So call us, 416-413-4141. We want to have a nice long Leafs line tomorrow after the game. So
I just want to follow up on Olivier because I love him.
You have a bit of a man crush.
Yeah.
I did. Awesome.
If that guy, he just signed a long-term deal with Columbus at $3 million. But if that guy made the open market, what would a team like even the Leafs would have been willing to pay him?
It's crazy, right? Because what did Frederick get from Edmonton? 3.85 times 8?
Yeah, you're right. 3.8.
And you'd say, okay, so he just scored Frederick's career high in goals. He's the league heavyweight. He just tossed Frederick around like a child, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, Frederick landed one.
He did.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Full respect to Frederick.
Points for just showing
Getting in
up.
there.
Right. But yeah, I mean, probably 5
Yeah,
times 8.
5.
Yeah. And
I
he's
love
not,
that player. I love the guy.
what's he play per night for minutes? Like
14.
Okay, well, that's
13,
enough.
14 minutes.
That's enough. That's pretty good.
Right?
Yeah,
As a third kind of checking guy.
absolutely.
But
let's see here.
like
Yeah, look at that. 14 and a half.
Joshua makes more money than he does.
That hurts to hear.
Yeah, I don't like that sentence.
I sent you guys today. Someone was talking
That
about
sentence
trading
hurts
Ryan
my-
Lomberg from Calgary, and I was like, interesting.
Ryan Lomberg. I like the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
If we were
Energy.
to pick one guy to go up against Olivia tonight out of the Leaf lineup, give me a name.
Craig Berube.
Joshua?
Craig Berube.
Chief.
Toughest
Avery
guy.
Stolarz
That's
with
all
his
I need
helmet
for an
on?
answer.
Toughest guy on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Maybe Benoit.
No one's going him.
Well,
No one's going
who did Benoit fight? He's fought.
He
a
fought.
heavier
He fought
two,
Delorier. No,
Delorier, yeah.
Delorier. Like, he didn't fight him. He got in there and
But that's what
fell
it would
down.
be.
Yes.
Anyone who fought Olivier and the Leafs would
Remember
have to
that
be
he had a
like,
Superman
Actually-
punch, didn't he?
actually, I think he did maybe fight Olivier last year.
Was that the Superman punch?
No. That was against. I think that was against Utah. Maybe Kesserling that he
Oh,
fought.
yeah.
I think he did fight him.
I think he did fight Olivier, and like Olivier took mercy on his soul. I remember, if I
We're
remember
gonna
correctly.
Google that.
Okay. Listen, there's points for showing up. I'm sorry, but
It's a big thing in hockey.
right?
It's a big thing in life.
Yeah, that's what I
Just
get.
show-
That's what I get
show
by
up.
on.
Sammy,
Yes.
I don't think a win tonight would utter the words out of you, we're back.
No,
But-
I will not be saying that.
But
the whole
maybe
year.
by Monday,
No,
3
How about
consecutive
this?
wins would
Only
be
way he says it, 3 wins.
would help.
Matthews is back with a hat trick on Saturday night.
I mean, there's no timetable.
What's that?
There's no timetable for his return.
I
He's
know,
not
but
playing
I'm trying to come up with a
Saturday
scenario
night.
where you were back it.
I had a incredibly premature "we're back" after the
Premature we're backulation.
Yeah. Oh, that's never happened before. I will not be saying it.
You're way
for a
too
very
young
long
for
time.
that, aren't you?
Oh my God. I will not be saying it.
All right.
And for at least 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
They
They did fight, by the way. April 5th, 2025.
Okay.
All right,
Those
good
two
So
one.
fought.
there's
Yeah.
my guy. There's the one guy I could pick out of the lineup.
It's pretty slim pickings in that regard.
Yep.
So, the Chinakhov thing. I'm looking around the league looking for guys that the Leafs could get their hands on. Not sure he moves the needle. If he's a guy that is this finicky.
I think Nick Robertson, not in his mind, but many, in a short period of time, has become a pretty important player to Craig Berube.
Like more than Chinakhov.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bet that
And
was on
it's
the
just-
table.
It's
one
the
for
hard
one.
work, and it's the work ethic, the speed,
Yeah.
the enthusiasm.
And I will say that guy has
he-
taken his lumps and he keeps coming back and working
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Credit for that.
Yeah.
And he
was nice to Nick.
was nice to me
Yeah.
Which
at
we
a
can't
alumni function.
overstate the importance of.
That was maybe the most important part of his career.
Our thanks to Aaron Portzline from The Athletic. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Leafs, trying to put 2 wins in a row. We go national next. We got Kevin Cheveldayoff from
Yes.
the Winnipeg Jets going to join
Correct.
us. Jets talk, baby.
Yes.
As we go national next on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. All right, let's go national. Please send in your text to Sammy McKee for not changing the jersey.
He does. Of course he knows. Of course he knows.
You know,
he
we
just
just wait
likes.
to see if he'll do it.
Yeah, he loves.
I swear to God.
Oh God.
I swear I just noticed it
Sorry.
out of the corner of my eye. Sammy, I don't throw you under the bus. on purpose.
You just missed
very
the Jersey
often.
song, though, Sammy. So, yeah.
As you know, it's our national hour. We are live on Sportsnet, Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus.
McKee, you're on camera now.
Sammy McKee
Don't pick your
changing the
nose.
jersey. If you can't catch us live, give us a download. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Kevin Cheveldayoff, Executive Vice President, General Manager of the Winnipeg Jets, will join us soon. You were on the national program last night. The Edmonton Oilers. We just finished the Leaf edition. Yeah, we get accused a little bit of being a little doom and gloom sometimes, but I don't know if the Edmonton Oiler fans feel much better these days.
Buddy, they stink.
Wow.
Listen.
Wow.
There's not an Oiler fan watching this who didn't just go, yeah. Yeah. If you're watching, like, I'm not saying they are a bad team that can't make playoffs, that can't contend, that they're hopeless, but their defensive effort right now is brutal. Sammy, what is that thing you sent us with the stats?
Oh, it's just all last.
Yeah, so right now in goals against, they're 32nd in the league. In 5-on-5 goals against, 32nd. In team save percentage, 32nd. Like, if I don't get to say they stink when they're last in everything defensive, when do I get to say it? They stink right now.
I was interested for a temperature check, so I sent a little tweet last night about how Oilers fans are feeling like, the slow start that I love to chirp, and how we have to talk about having a slow start and then them pulling out of it. I'm wondering if they are worried that they are not just having a slow start anymore. Yeah, I would say the consensus is there is some grave concern about the way that this is looking.
Yep.
And we talked about it before this road trip started. They always struggle on this Eastern road trip. They've always had a hard time on this Eastern road trip. They've gone, I think the last couple of years, 1-4. Like they've had a tough go on it. But
Did you send me a clip of the coaching staff around a table, and
no.
they were forecasting this trip, and Coach Knobloch mentioned, it's going to be a brutal trip. We'll kind of get in there at like 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, did he say? Is that where he said that?
Yeah, he kind of forecasted.
He was like,
was this AI or is this real?
No, I don't know.
Because I'm
thought
getting
for
tricked.
sure you sent it.
I'm getting tricked every day, boys. So I don't know.
But
what's
it's
real.
getting crazy how real it is.
it is really uncomfortable.
It's not to get too much into this, but like I'm feeling like my mom and dad now sending stuff. I'm like, look how funny this is, and they're like, that's AI. I sent you one the other day.
My 9-year-old kid, I liked it so much. I sent it to my kid who has his iPad, and he's like, Dad, that's AI. And I actually got really defensive about it. I was like, you think everything's AI? He pointed
Because
a
it was
few
the
things out. I'm like,
Santa thing blowing away, and it was so funny. I'm old.
Kevin Cheveldayoff, please save me from this AI conversation,
Oh, my
please.
Is this really me or is this an AI? You guys don't know.
That's a great point.
Depends what comes out of your mouth in the next 10 seconds.
Well, if anything interesting comes out of my mouth, then you know it's AI.
Thanks for joining us. Been a while, but overall, a bit of a different feel with your hockey club. I think first and foremost, Jonathan Toews, central part of the modern day hockey world, one of the best hockey players, top 100. How much of a change have you seen on the ice and behind the scenes in the first 20 games?
Well, yeah, there are a lot of things. Obviously, for every team, thinks that it's just going to be smooth sailing, from training camp on. But the reality is we have some guys that you're integrating. We had some injuries right off the hop there that forced some different things to unfold. But like all things, I think you find some silver linings. You find some players that maybe get to play a little bit of a different role and see how they react. And in some cases, it gives you opportunities, and in some cases, it solidifies things in other directions and lets where you have to kind of work. So again, for us, I think more so. It's maybe stylistic of play. I think, we certainly, I think, need to tighten things up a little bit on our side and get back to that identity that we had, for a good part of 82 games, last year. But it's a hard identity to to kind of do on a nightly basis. But rest assured, for us, we're going to have to keep chipping away and just keep on trying to find a way to to continue down a good solid path in a very, very, very competitive environment right now.
Yeah, your guys, that Central Division, man, that is a tough one. Obviously, you guys are very familiar with it. One of the things that you did this offseason was bring in Jonathan Toews, right? That's a guy who's got experience going through tough teams. How have early returns been? How has his progress looked from day one?
Yeah, great. For us, obviously, getting JT is something that I think will continue to pay, greater and greater and greater dividends as time goes on. We really wanted to make a concerted effort just to let him be him and come in and find his game and not have any kind of expectations that that are unfairly put on him. Obviously we've got a real strong core group of leaders in our room, and he made a point right when we signed of saying, I just want to come in and be a part of this group. Like so we've the kudos to the guys and kudos to JT. They're all finding, kind of learning from each other as they continue to go and grow. And we're 20 games in. Everyone says it's still a good, it's a start. It's a good start or whatever kind of start. But 20 turns to 40, turns to 60 pretty quickly in this league. Although it is interesting. I was talking about it the other day. It's almost like there's going to be two seasons this year. You've got the pre-Olympic and post-Olympic where having a break that long, and you kind of wonder, what does that do to guys' mindsets right now? Like, are they thinking about, it in those terms? I don't know, but again, it's a unique season in a lot of fronts.
No question that any hockey club, you want to accumulate as many wins as you can. There's no timing of anything. You just go out there, you play as hard as you can. You try to win, but chasing a President's Trophy or getting prepared to play your best at the right time, like where are you guys on that mindset now? Because you look at your record and it's okay, but it's not earth-shattering. It's not establishing you guys as necessarily a top team out of the gate like Colorado. But overall, how do you compare for last season to this season? And again, trying to play your best hockey when it matters most in April.
Yeah, so last year it was interesting because we never. Obviously you start a season, you make the jokes about, well, you're not going to go 82-0. Well, at one point, you started thinking, well, geez, like, look how good this is going, but we didn't fall into that trap last year of saying like, well, it's President's Trophy or bust, with respect to how we, played on a nightly basis or managed our roster, so to speak, and that. And then similarly right now, like, like we didn't have a great road trip. We went 2-4 on the road, and certainly, the mood was, it's not great, but I mean, you have to put things into perspective, and you have to kind of, like, I don't know, like live day to day, but I think you have to, approach it in that fashion, and then, see how some things go. But, you don't know what the future is when it comes to injuries, to those type of situations are obviously things that you have to manage, and like I say, you have to look at it as opportunities for other guys to step up and see where you're at within your organization.
Chevy, one of the most important pieces for you guys, Mark Scheifele, obviously has some thoughts about Team Canada, right? Like, I mean, this guy is now, I think he's top 5 in scoring. Is this to you like a no-brainer? This guy should be there, sort of thing.
Well, I'm biased. Obviously, he's someone that again, I look at our organization and I look at the day where it could have forked in two different directions, and that was the day that Scheif and Helly agreed to extend and commit with us long term, and I think it's interesting because it's kind of like whether it's Canada or whether it's just our game, we tend to beat up on our own people more than not, and like there's no perfect players, and obviously there's the upper echelons like the Connor McDavids, but like we've had a lot of success. Obviously we haven't won a cup and haven't gotten to the point in time in the playoffs, But one thing has been constant is Mark Scheifele's been our driver number one center for a long period of time. And you don't do what we did last year. Yeah, you got Helly for sure. And you got JMO and the group of guys on defense and you got, Kyle Connor, but you need that center driver, and Mark has been that. So I hope for him, he gets strong considerations. He can play the wing, he can play center. He's made massive improvements, on his face-offs this year. Like, little things that I hope, get noticed by, by the hockey management.
And you got a captain who's staring at a 5-year deal now, signed, sealed, and delivered. Oh, Chevy sounded like a real drawn-out, like,
what a
every
battle.
last nickel battle. Like you must have had this one tucked away in your desk like middle of June.
Yeah, no, so honestly, how this kind of all unfolded is, obviously Adam went through hip surgery, and and I don't say that factored into it, but we, obviously the Kyle Connor, contract, took a great deal of attention, but certainly made it well known, from the onset that Adam was a priority for us, and that we wanted to make him a Jet for life. And when we really started to get into the meat of the negotiation, really what took so long, I think, was just literally some logistics. Like both, the agent was traveling, we're traveling, you're doing some different things, and but it was a great night. It was great that we were able to get him signed. But we had our True North Youth Foundation gala, yesterday, and obviously he's the captain of our team on the ice, but off the ice, he's just an exceptional person in the community, does so much, from that standpoint, and a big supporter of the foundation. So it was great to be able to have, that announcement happen in front of, 1,000 people that were there supporting our charity.
That is really cool. I wanted to ask you a little bit about just looking around this year. So we've mentioned a number of the great players you guys have. The league around you. So you guys did the California trip this year. It kind of got you. It feels like there were some years where it was really hard, that California trip, and then not so much. Are we back to that being a much harder road trip?
Well, it's interesting. I think it actually, excites you in some respects, when the fan inside of you to see, some of those young players doing the things that they're doing. And it kind of renews, your love of the game to see young, talented players. Now, it turns your hair much more gray that you got to compete against them and stuff like that. So, again, I applaud those managements of those franchises that, have gone, through the difficult process of trying to, rebuild and that, because it's there's no magic elixir, and you got to get lucky along the way a little bit, that the talent that is there for you to pick is real, and there's some real players there.
We cover a lot, obviously, here in Toronto, in the Atlantic division, and we've waited a while now for the likes of a Detroit and a Montreal and Ottawa to push some of the teams that we've seen in the past. Is that happening a little bit with like Utah and Chicago and the challenges that even your team has now moving forward?
Well, I think it's interesting, and every team goes through an evolution, and I guess I just, can only speak from internally. Like when we were, it was interesting when we were going through a period of time, and we never really, necessarily bottomed out, but, we had, some players in the, kind of under the top 10, like 7s or 8s or 6s, whatever, coming into the lineup. And, you're giving them chances to play, but there's not necessarily those high expectations on them and on your team yet. It's like, oh, well, you're young, and oh, geez, you're exciting. The interesting part about the National Hockey League is and players, is what happens when there is pressure and when there is expectations. And, that's always the hard part with young players. Every young player wants to get there so fast, and we keep telling them all the time, it's not about getting there fast, it's about staying here long. And you don't want to get chewed up and spit out, in the National Hockey League. And so expectations are probably the next thing that all these teams, that are getting better are going to have to face.
Yeah. One of the things that's interesting, some parallels with the Leafs and the Jets and, expectations year over year is, both teams top of their divisions last year. Both teams lost a pretty good player in the offseason. Leafs struggling to replace Mitch Marner. How are you guys finding the absence of Nick Ehlers?
Yeah, again, you don't replace, necessarily those guys. They have individual skill sets, and they've been with your organization, for in both cases from, draft to develop. And, obviously, they give you the best years of their career, so to speak, and the prime, of them. And you're fortunate to have had them. But, that being said, you hope you position yourself in the organization to have some young players, that are pushing. It is harder, when you're like in our case here, like we're a little bit of a victim at times of all the picks we've traded and the different things like that, sound great at the time when you're at the trade deadline and everyone says, go all in. And you're like, yeah, let's go. And, oh boy, so, again, there's costs in this game. It's not just salary cap costs. You got to have a pipeline too. So, hopefully in our case here, we signed a couple of guys, to shorter term deals, see if they're, maybe fits or longer term fits. But hopefully our young guys can continue to try to push to make a case for themselves.
You're watching and listening to Kevin Cheveldayoff, Executive Vice President and General Manager of the Winnipeg Jets. Okay, you mentioned trade deadline. Give us a sense, because you are right in the thick of things. You're making calls like in any other team, what you might think you need now or down the road. But what are those calls like right now? Because a few things have shifted with the salary cap, and there's a different dynamic come playoff time where you can't hide money. So what is it like out there on a daily basis for you and these calls? Is there real traction, or is it like
I don't
a stock market that isn't moving?
Yeah, this year is maybe a little bit even more different than it is normally, because you've got so many teams that are, not above the line, but like close to above the line, so there's not a lot of people that are, going to be waving the white flag at 20 games and saying, okay, uncle. But, also I think what you're seeing though too is lots of players getting locked up. Like obviously, you take care of your UFA business and that kind of affects the trade deadline as well. It's kind of a, not a zero sum game, but once someone's off the market, they're off the market, so, again, it all takes on its own life. You'll start to have, maybe more pointed scouting meetings, as they get into the game 30s maybe, and start to see where, the wheat and the chaff might start to be sifting each other out.
And just your team, is like anything you could tell us that you might be, I could use a little of that.
Well, like I say, Perfetti, is just several games in. Sandberg's just several games in. Laus is, I think, 7 games in. Again, when you're, I guess, put your team up on the board going into training camp when everybody's healthy and no one's lost a game, you kind of envision how some things unfold, and we, through injury, we haven't been able to do that. So hopefully we get a chance to, evaluate our group as a group and then go from there.
How do you feel about the Olympics and what it's done to the schedule? You got a couple guys that are likely to go. Guys are getting injured a bit more around the league. Do you like it?
Yeah. Well, again, it's there's definitely, a sense of nervousness, I think, when you have players on those type of teams. I think, again, there's a level of, I guess, the fan in you that you're really excited for those players because, that's an exciting, time. But from a business standpoint, it can be a nerve-wracking thing for sure.
Hey, one more question. We were talking earlier about these sites that hit that, I guess, American League American Thanksgiving on where you are on the side of percentages and making the playoffs and not. You got your own stats. You look at those things. You keep an eye on the belief of how true it is on these percentages?
Yeah, so for us, it's more so, I think we kind of try to distill it down into like smaller segments, whether it's 5 and 10 game segments and trying to, hit those certain benchmarks, whether it's points wise or that, but also, behind the scenes analytically and different things that, we believe are the metrics that we need to be successful. So, I don't know, again, it's you fall into those interesting things if it means something to you and you're on the good side of it, and you throw them out the window if you're on the bad side of it. And, it's kind of one of those things where you can trick yourself into believing whatever you want.
Oh, you guys are at 86%, so you're good. Yeah,
Good,
yeah,
you're safe to make playoffs.
yeah.
That's an
But
A.
the good news is Colorado's got a 2% of missing.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, like, I know last year when we were going through, the success that we're having, you almost get that, like I say, you get that feeling is like, you're scared to lose because, you're kind of, have the such high expectations on a nightly basis. But, again, it's, there's lots of runway, pardon the pun, but, we've got to, make sure that we can do something that, one, to get into the playoffs, and then obviously, two, you want to make some noise in it. But, it's far too early to start talking about the noise. You've got to accomplish a big feat and put 16 teams behind you.
Chevy, great stuff as always. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks a lot for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Kevin Cheveldayoff.
Jets talk.
Oh,
The
gold.
The analytics stuff, not great in the Jets this year. Team doing good.
Yeah.
Underlying stuff. But he did mention they've been hurt. They haven't had Perfetti and Lowry and whoever else he mentioned, someone else in there. So now that they're healthy, there is reason to believe they should get that back on track because they have been good at that typically.
And 86.5% according to Money Pucks. They're fine.
You can just coast in now.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah.
You're good.
Interesting listening to him when you talk about some of the newer teams now showing great signs of playoff life, like Chicago or, Detroit. But he talks about playing with expectations.
Yeah.
And that is, I don't know if it gets enough attention.
Watching that with the Leafs over the years has been cool. The evolution of.
Listen, I'm watching it with the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah. And, Wallman has not been that great.
Yeah. No, that's.
He's struggled.
He has struggled.
How much did he get?
Seven.
Seven.
That changes your perspective on things.
So that's playing with expectations now. He's expected to be like he was when they went to the Stanley Cup final. And right now, their expectations on the blue line, it's just not there.
No.
Could that be affecting Bouchard as well after signing a big ticket where it's
I think that does affect guys. I really do. I've seen a pretty consistent, we had it with all the stars in Toronto, Marner, Nylander, those guys' first years after their big contracts were some of their poorest, and then they get comfortable and sort it out.
So did you want to continue the conversation we were having before? Not the AI one, the Oiler one here. Like, although the AI one may be a little bit more interesting. Are you worried at all about it? Like, is your perspective on this just being a slow start changing for the Oilers? Because I would say it is for me.
Yeah, we talked about 20 games being ample opportunity to kind of show what you are or your identity. Mm-hmm. And right now, I think, especially in Toronto and Edmonton, I think it tells more than just what's notoriously known as a typical slow start. So there are concerns in Edmonton and Toronto, no question.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys happen to watch the pregame show for the Oilers yesterday, but I put up a board which was 5-on-5 scoring without McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice. Like, what percentage of the goals are scored when those guys are not on the ice over the past 5 years? And they're typically outscored without those guys on the ice.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, they get about 40% of the goals or something like that. And this year it's like 20%, 23%. So they're really getting filled in without those guys on the ice more than they have in the past.
Yeah.
And that means you need more, like Savoy's trying to find it. They sent down that Ike Howard. They haven't been able to replace Perry and Kane and Brown and Arvidsson yet. I don't know if these guys will find it. And Kapanen's still out. They're looking for it. RNH is still out. Maybe when they're healthy, they're fine. But they've been struggling.
And the thing that we talked about up at our desk before we came down here, like, I mean, we have a clip from Knobloch talking about about their defensive play, and he
After last night's loss.
Yeah, I mean, we could play it if you want.
Yeah, play it.
The commitment to protecting the dangerous ice. You look at the first goal against. We got a lot of guys out of position on that, and we get beat to the dangerous ice, and we don't give Stu much help. And you look at these nights where Stu's given up a lot of goals, and you're thinking, it's on goaltending, but we're not making the game easy for him.
So it was a tough night to goaltend.
For sure. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But it feels like I've listened to some version of an Oilers coach say this however many times about taking a goaltender off the hook or Stu this or Stu that. Like, at what point? And, we had Speck on yesterday, and he's talking about how, Bowman makes the big bucks to get a different goalie in here. Just pull the Binnington lever. Just pull the lever.
Binnington.
This is
You got to try something
probably
else.
more a Canadian thing, but we heard it with the Leafs. People are questioning Craig Berube, and of course, it forces Brad Treliving to come out and not even thinking about it, not going there.
Mm-hmm.
But Knobloch's going to start hearing it real fast here.
Oh, I mean, he's.
Okay?
I mean, in my mentions today about Oilers fans,
to
they're talking
another
about it.
level, and
The race to DeBoer is on.
I get that the playoff success.
Is that a race to Dubai joke?
I get the success of going deep in the playoffs. I do, but I just listened to Knobloch last night in post, and he does lack some emotion here for me, and some is needed right now. Some of it is needed right now, and I don't think he has the capability to draw any type of emotion. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I got to think it's pretty close to what we see in front of the camera.
The best coaches, if I were to ask you who you think the best few coaches in the league are, I can just tell you a couple guys for me. John Cooper. Paul Maurice.
Cooper was probably, if I was going to say the best coach,
Yeah.
who I would pick, I would say him.
I don't know what the answer is, and I'm not saying rah, rah, rah or screaming, but there just has to be.
They have a feel.
He's got to show something more than what he does.
Well, that's where I'm going with the best coaches in the league is that Cooper doesn't get mad often. Maurice doesn't get mad often. They're actually pretty cerebral, thoughtful, calm guys. But there's a point where they'll freak out. And then I would say Paul Maurice actually got a lot of credit for the turnaround of the Florida Panthers against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the regular season.
And if they didn't win that game, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. Pittsburgh would have made the playoffs, and the Leafs would have gone to the Stanley Cup and won it.
And Maurice came unglued. Sorry, I ignored all that. But I'm not saying Knobloch is there yet, but it will be interesting to see if that gear is within him to be like, how are we not seeing what's going on here?
So we've got, from a few years ago, Connor McDavid on Amazon screaming at the top of his lungs.
I know I am. Yeah.
And then we've got Knobloch. Can you imagine now these two guys getting together to try to figure this out? And one's to the extreme of that, and the other one is to
Buddy, you need the balance. It's you and me on this show, pal.
There is
fire and ice.
I get there's a balance.
Yeah.
But one can't be that extreme and the other one being that, no pulse.
Right. Yeah. It's, I did that game last night. I could put together a highlight pack, of probably 20 plays where you had D or forwards over chasing, trying to do too much and running out of position. And all of a sudden you had the Capitals coming down through the neutral zone like it was a highway. And that there's coaching involved in saying and getting guys to be in their spots. And we've watched with the Leafs a bit this year,
They don't look engaged. They don't.
Yeah.
They look
the big boys do.
They look so
No, the big boys are the big boys. This is not on Draisaitl or Connor McDavid. We're talking about 18 other guys here.
To me, the decor there. A pretty good decor.
The decor is not engaged.
Dude, Brett Kulak has been on the ice for 15 goals against and none for this year.
No, that's in November.
In the month of November.
Yeah.
Is that better?
0 for 15 is crazy.
That's a nutty number.
But, you think of the names. What would you think? Ekholm.
Yeah,
very
great,
good.
solid defense.
Nurse, overpaid but serviceable.
scored 2 last game.
You know,
Yeah.
Wallman, who they brought in, they like.
Big
Bouchard.
Bouchard.
But it just
Team
doesn't.
Canada starter.
It just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right.
I know.
Do you remember John
Keep going.
Cooper grabbing Nick Paul
Yes.
on
Yeah.
an interview?
Yeah.
One of the best
Nick
ever.
Paul was like, well,
One of my
Gene, let me
favorite
tell you.
playoff
He's like,
moments.
uh-oh,
He's like, I'm gone.
Dad's here.
Get in the room. Oh, I'm on national television. Get in the
Not
room.
I do
anymore,
not
you're
care.
not.
I do
That
not
was
care.
awesome.
But that's, I grew up, that's kind of how the level of respect you had for your coach, the way it went. I don't know that fear is always being instilled
One
in
more
everyone else.
thing, Oiler thing, before we do game time and go. And I mentioned it with the Binnington lever. Like, I know, he had the backup goalie money that he makes that Valley talks about with Stu Skinner, where he was supposed to be the backup and Jack Campbell was supposed to be the starter and all that stuff. I understand all that. But at what point is different just better?
Here, hold on, though. Let's do the thing that you also brought up, which relevant to your different thing. Who says no? Skinner for Joe Wall.
Joe Wall, Skinner for Stolarz.
What about Wall?
Leafs, 100% Leafs.
Yeah?
Yes.
They're just not sure what they have.
No,
if he's
no, no, no,
healthy,
no, no,
if he's
no.
okay, if he's going to be
We
there.
did- what we
Skinner's
took-
healthy all the time.
What we talked about at the desk was Skinner for Stolarz. Who says no?
Okay.
That's when we said. But anyways, just trade for Binnington. Everybody knows
Just
it
different.
should
Fresh
happen.
start.
Just
Yeah, it's
Just do it.
I think it's
Winnington.
gonna happen.
you do think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And like, would they have to blow them away? He's literally the worst goalie in the league. Like, he's only got 1 year left. Like, he's getting older. I just feel like it wouldn't even do that much.
What is it, a second rounder?
Yeah, it's more to do with
The pedigree.
no
like
Cap?
cap and
Retention.
getting St. Louis to eat some money.
okay.
He's got one more year after this at $6 million. Stu would be, you presumably Skinner goes the other way, I guess, at that point. I don't know.
Yeah, like come on, not
Picker
keeping
to
that
use
guy
it.
around.
Well, maybe, no?
No,
No? Can you back
no,
up
it's
anything?
over.
It's over. Like,
It's
you can't,
over.
You can't have the threat of it just being
It's like
Skinner
when you
again.
break up with a girl after a year or two and try to stay friends.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it's over.
You just
It
can't.
doesn't work.
You
It's
can't have the
over.
threat of Binnington be like, oh, my leg, and it's like,
Yeah.
here comes Stu again.
Yes.
And everyone's
Hey.
like,
Easy
no.
time.
Yeah, what world does Jerry and Elaine think that is real?
That's not real.
Anyways, at some point, you got to do something different. Anyways, it's game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's ever ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. I think Wall for Skinner hurt my feelings.
Sorry about that.
Now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, that's just not right.
Sorry, Joe.
There are 12 games on tap tonight. Lots of hockey. I'll start here in Toronto. Columbus Blue Jackets in town to take on the Leafs. The Leafs are minus 105 on the money line. The Columbus Blue Jackets are minus 115, so pretty even on both sides of it there. Couple really good ones. Oilers on the second half of a back-to-back in Tampa to take on the Lightning. If you believe in the narrative that the Oilers got to start winning eventually, and they kind of galvanized, even though they have 32, they're 32nd in every stat. They are plus 140 tonight in Tampa Bay. Not often that you're going to get the Oilers on a number like that, but it's probably plus 140 for a good
I don't
reason.
want it.
Neither do I. I'm just putting that out there. And a little bit later on, a couple really good ones. Vegas in Utah to take on the Mammoth. The Mammoth are minus 105. Vegas Golden Knights minus 115. And even later on, the Sharkies, who I love watching so much, Macklin Celebrini, one of the must-see television, hosting their Pacific Division rival, the LA Kings. Sharks plus 150 on the money line. The LA Kings minus 180. Big faves there. And I mean, according to Money Puck, the Sharks have a better chance to make the playoffs than the Leafs. So, I mean, that's great value there. And feels like the Sens haven't played in a while. They're in Anaheim taking on the Ducks tonight. Ducks,
Brady Tkachuk coming back soon?
we can talk about
it.
that a little bit later, but I think it's maybe he's on his excellent podcast. He was talking about when he potentially would come back.
Oh.
Anyways, that was Game Time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and see why it's ever ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and when we return, maybe more on Brady Tkachuk and his update that you just mentioned. Plus, you're going to give us the latest thoughts on the Winter Classic uniforms.
I am.
I know you are.
What are you looking at me like that?
All right, we'll wait. We'll save it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want to go sort out your sock drawer or anything, this is
Do
probably
something that isn't listen to us.
The
This
next
would be the
segment's
time.
probably a really good time.
Rude.
We're back with Sammy, JB, and myself after these words. As a reminder, Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee.
So we're on in Calgary, Sportsnet 960, the wonderful city of Calgary.
Big win.
Listen, I don't want to necessarily, I want to give them credit for a win,
Yeah.
but I would like to just talk about the
Sabres?
What are they going to do, guys? What are they going to do?
I mean, I think everyone listens to this understands what the Flames have been this year. They're having a tough go offensively. They've been not very good.
They're getting a top pick.
6-2 on home ice.
No.
Flames.
Here's worse, okay? Calgary's coming off back-to-back.
Yes.
Buffalo's waiting at home. You know, Cooley with a nice win. Good on them.
Yep.
But their backup goalie, and you lose 6-2.
Buddy, I'm in a survivor pool, a 3-strike survivor pool, and I look at Calgary's schedule and the record this year. I was like, oh, back-to-back, backup goalie. Like, anyone will beat them. Buffalo's actually not that bad. I'll take the Sabres.
You took Sabres
I
last
took
night.
the Sabres. And I watched them get holy wiped
Filled
by the Flames. So
I
don't know what they're going to do.
What are they going to do? You're nailed it. Like that. It's,
I'm watching. I'm listening to podcasts and reading articles, and I'm seeing the Ducks rebuild and where it's at, and the Blackhawks are coming along, and Utah's coming along, and everybody's coming along.
well, I'm
not, Doug. You know, the Sabres, it's like, where are their players? They've been bad for 14 years. Where are the players? Who, like, Eichel's over there somewhere, I guess. Ryan O'Reilly left a long time ago. Where is everyone?
I saw, I went to find the tweet, but I saw a Buffalo Sabres fan.
They need a full rebuild.
But it
They gotta
was,
restart.
let me quickly find
Brand from the top. Get Shanahan.
Wow.
They need something.
It was Chris Johnson's tweet of the top 4 scorers in the league. Bedard and McDavid, McKinnon.
Number one pick.
And
Number one pick.
And some guys just like 14 years of no playoffs to not get a single one of these guys.
I know.
You know, their first overall picks, was it Dahlin? Was their first overall pick?
Power and
Dahlin. Was Power first overall? I can't even remember all the first overall picks. Eichel was second to McDavid. They just have nothing to show for any of this. And like Dahlin, when's he going to want to leave? Like, he's a good player.
That was the start of this where, you know, I'm seeing stuff online where it's like, is Tage Thompson going to force his way out? Like, that's the conversations you start having. Power did go number 1 overall. Dahlin went number 1 overall.
They want to play in the playoffs.
Playoffs?
No, the players, they're going to leave to go play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not Buffalo's playoffs.
No.
They're just going to want to just experience
But
it.
if you're a fan, you're like,
Playoffs?
like you can't keep moving on from these guys. You have to find a way to keep them happy. You have to keep your guys here.
It's too late for those guys.
For Tage Thompson?
Yeah, probably.
You think
He's
they're
going to miss the playoffs again.
Well, but then who's it built around? Who's at the core of it? If
How
it's
old's
too late,
Tage?
He's not that old.
How old?
27?
He is 28.
Buddy.
I didn't know he was that old.
Buddy.
God, he's a geezer.
It's
Simmons is
10
old.
years of nothing.
It's actually been 14 years of nothing.
No, for him,
Oh,
though.
for him,
Yeah.
yeah.
For him.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that, like, in his prime, we're talking about how many more prime years does he have? 4, 5?
Yeah.
Would you like to play in one playoff game?
Probably. I think he would probably like to do that, Kip.
And listen, it has to be with ownership. I don't know what's going on. Terry Pagula still has the team. It was once upon a time local billionaire who loves the team.
Loved
it was
single owner.
It was supposed to be a match made in heaven. And do Sabre fans feel slighted because the focus is on the Bills? I don't know, but he does weigh in on decisions with the Buffalo Sabres, I assure you.
How do you have a first-time GM try to solve this crisis? Like, you know, you look at teams around the league that, you know, okay, go get someone experienced and see if, you know, someone can help you out of this funk. Someone who's seen it before, been
Shanny's the
through
guy.
it. Shanny's definitely the guy.
He's
Listen,
the perfect guy to do it.
There's really There's nobody else really with that kind of pedigree.
But think about. I mean, I don't think the Leafs were quite
Doug McLean.
Mac. But I don't think the Leafs were quite as much of a laughingstock as the Sabres are right now. But they were close. And he came in here.
It's the playoff stuff, but everything else got improved in the last 10 years for the Leafs,
Well, that's
other
what I
than
mean.
playoff success, which is the biggest one.
Sabres would kill
right?
to lose in the first round a bunch of
Yes.
times.
What I'm saying is, Shanny came in here and took over a very similar situation that was like the butt of the joke. They never won. They were crappy and just flipped
And
it
let
over.
me ask you, who did they hire? They
Lou
hired
Lamoriello.
Lou Lamoriello.
Yeah.
Someone who'd
Babcock.
seen it. Babcock.
Yeah.
The guys who had been through it, pros, experienced guys.
And they had shelf life, right?
Yes.
But
Maybe
it's okay.
Lou's was
At
maybe a
least-
little shorter than it should have been.
Yeah. I mean, there's an argument there for sure. And Mark Hunter
Yeah.
and all the rest
Yeah.
of them. And
Yeah.
we can go back
100%.
and say where Shanny made a few mistakes. But at least he started the groundwork,
Uh-huh.
right? To respectability.
Call Shanny. All
right.
Well, I mean, at least the Bills are great.
Yep.
They might, they could win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay, so
could.
have you seen?
they're always
have you watched Brady and Matthew on their podcast?
I don't want to do this because it's hard. It's hard. Listen,
it's new. First of all,
if you played the
they're
clips
new.
of my first couple shows I ever did on this show, it
Yeah.
would be the worst thing anyone's ever heard. So I don't want to be too critical of them.
I haven't listened. Have you listened?
Yeah, I love it. Don't miss an episode.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, we're wingmen. Him and
So
I.
what did Brady say? What did Brady say when he's coming back?
He said, let me just quickly find it. Let me quote him here. He said, "I've got a doctor's appointment in the next couple of days, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say. Hopefully, everything is all clear to go out there and battle and compete. Hopefully, around Thanksgiving, we're back and we're ready to rock." So that's a quote from the Wingman Wednesdays or whatever his podcast is called.
Yeah, awesome.
So, but listen, it's easy to just dunk on them, and I've done it already. But it's
I don't mean to. I don't care.
well, like, I do care.
Listen,
I'm glad that they're
The only
trying to do it.
thing-
It just doesn't sound very good.
the only thing we've done in the last 5 years is prove it's very hard.
It is.
It's as hard as it looks.
Yes, it is.
People make fun of me. They're like, "Oh, you don't have a real job." I'm like, "All right, brother, you go sit in there. Turn on that microphone and say something interesting." It's not easy.
It's easy once or
I
twice.
missed like 7 texts from my wife
Uh-oh.
yesterday's show. Apparently,
Was it the wind chimes?
no, it was the hair.
Oh,
It was sticking up, and I'm like, I ain't getting any help from Sam or you or the robots in here.
I've never noticed.
So
do you want me to let you know?
Your hair's sticking up.
yeah, not for me, for my wife. She click.
Thing is,
She
I
couldn't
sit here with
stand
this
watching
alfalfa
me with
every day, and I
the
just
alfalfa.
assume-
And I have a hat on usually, so
Yeah,
That's how hard it is.
yeah, it's really hard.
complicated job.
Yeah.
On to the Winter Olympics.
Okay,
Neck guards
jerseys.
mandatory,
Yeah.
and the jersey. Oh, you want to do Winter Classic?
Well,
Okay. Go neck guards.
do you think
Is that a big deal?
Do you think this is
Is
going to
that
be
nice for the kids? Good message.
That's all I was gonna say. Good message. Get used to seeing it.
I was going to say, like, when is this the newest visor situation where it's mandatory? Like, I went from helmets that were
yeah,
mandatory and got
neck guards,
grandfathered in, and then it was
Very soon.
visors. Like, I feel like within the next 2 years.
Very soon. Tell me about the Winter Classic jerseys because you have opinions. So Florida's playing the Rangers in.
Maybe Jake can put them up. I
Miami.
don't know. That's
So
a lot to ask.
They've
but-
got a dome, that goes over the ice. They they spent all this money on a dome, the NHL did, that'll be over the ice rink,
Yeah.
outdoors until
Really?
presumably hours before the game, and they'll deconstruct
How
the
many
whole
people?
thing. I'm just saying, what do you mean? To take it?
No, that are going to the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
how many?
I don't know. A zillion, isn't it in some football stadium?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is there a capacity?
I don't have that answer for you.
Okay, I don't know how many people are
We just-
expected to go.
We just do a hockey show.
Well, I don't know. Who cares where it is? Tropicana Field.
It's not a Tropicana. Although they did just put the newest
I know. That's why it
panel
was
on
my
there.
mind.
It's at Lone Depot Park,
I actually knew that. Damn.
which I would assume is the.
You knew that?
Well, the show last night we mentioned it.
Oh, okay.
I would assume that is where the Miami Dolphins play, Lone Depot Park, or maybe
Buddy,
that's
whatever.
the
Why
Miami
are we
Marlins.
hung up on this detail? Tell me about your jersey take.
Well, I can't. They're both suck.
Oh, you're brutal.
They both suck.
The Rangers one's cool.
Oh, my Aaron Ekblad looks like a bumblebee.
I love, if you're watching, I love the stripes on the arm, and then they just way overdid it with the socks. The pants are horrible. The logo kind of looks cool, but it looks like a little bit of a malnourished panther.
I'm going to say
I think
the
I
whole
just hate the
thing
Panthers.
minus all the stripes is pretty great.
Yeah, agree.
If you just de-striped it, I'm into it.
Too many stripes. And
The other thing is, should they have gone with the Miami Vice, like the basketball pink neon?
No.
No?
No.
All right.
No.
Oh,
But, like,
geez.
No. And then what? Have Don Johnson drop the puck?
Well, you have Mitch Marner drop the puck in his outfit from the All-Star game.
do you think that, like, why are they going to Florida to do this? Because we think it'll sell out?
Yeah.
But it's such a moneymaker.
You think it'll sell out there?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking. How many
who's going to the
tickets?
games? Rangers fans.
How many?
That's true.
People from New York in Florida in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of Rangers.
I don't know. Some of the Ranger fans aren't too happy this year.
Yeah. Well,
JT Miller
but
took
hey,
a
they'll-
lot of heat this week.
a road
God.
game. They'll love a road game. They're good on
Right?
the road.
That was a tough look. It was a tough look.
So, I'll go to this because I said it to you the other day. This is a take of Jeff Ayette, someone on Twitter who some people may know. JT Miller is an amplifier. And I really think that's a smart take. Whatever your team is, he will make it bigger. If they are good and competitive, he will power that up and you'll be more good and competitive. If they're stinky and not competitive, he'll do the same thing and drag it that direction too. Whatever they are.
Why isn't he an amplifier when they're stinky to pull them up to be good?
Because whatever you are, he becomes you, but more of it. He makes you more of what you already are.
I mean, it's a tough look to be like the no BS guy,
Right.
and then like
It was a
lot of
it was a
BS
gutsy
in that
call
play.
to trade for him
Mhm.
and then name him captain.
The C
It was
thing
it was a big call by Chris Drury.
oh we have it. Is this the clip?
Oh, is this him on the wall
We-
as the
we-
captain? Oh, I can't get to him.
We did see something similar earlier in
honestly,
the year.
That looked like me at the Easter Seals event. Like that was McKee level.
Not on the game-winning goal.
Yeah.
You were
No.
moving faster.
Well, no, in the D zone, that's what it looked like. That's a stinky goal by
We
Shesterkin,
talked
too.
about something that looked similar earlier in the year, and we just assumed that he's not healthy. He was playing
I
less than
hate
capacity.
that. That's
We do that all the
guy
time
who's too
here.
hurt to-
We do. It's like, I'm so sick of being like, is he hurt? No, he's playing.
It is such a cop out for guys.
playing.
All
He's
right.
playing.
What else we got?
12
on this,
games tonight,
list here?
boys.
Yep.
I'm trying to find my list of games.
Favorite game, Sammy, other than your Toronto Maple Leafs you like tonight?
I gotta tell you, it's Sharks, and I can finish Leafs talk tonight with me and JD Bunkus after every game, and I can settle up on the couch and I can watch the second
So
half.
the three of us are going to go to a Sharks game, eh? Next month.
Yeah,
We
really?
are?
Do we have a date on
Yeah,
that?
Gibby. We got invited by our buddy Gibby.
I love the Sharks, and mostly just because I
Love
adore,
Gibby.
Well, yeah, of course I love Gibby, but I adore Macklin Celebrini, and I'm just so excited about how good he is.
Did you see what they do now? They ordered a shark's mouth and
Yeah.
they put it on for post game.
Yeah, Reeves, biggest glue guy in the league now. Everybody loves him.
Well, I'm not Doug. Yada yada.
Well, no, but it was just like, well, they're like, oh, he's
I
doing,
liked it. I liked it.
He's
I
doing
didn't
an
mind it.
interview with no shirt on. He's like, yeah, Revo told me I have to come out here with this thing
with
on, no
shirt
tarp.
and no tarp.
And they're like, oh my
When
god,
did no
everyone
tarp? What is no tarp?
tarps off, baby.
I know what it is, but where is that appeal?
I think it like wearing no shirt. It's
Ooh,
awesome.
Everyone loves that. That's
Really?
Oh, the
You ever drive
people
with no
that gets the
tarp on?
people
Best
going.
feeling
I
ever.
went
Everybody
no
does Freedom
tarp.
Friday every Friday on the way home.
I did an interview
Shout out
in New
Mike
York
Abbott.
with no tarp. Messier gives me this one right here. Come
Kangaroo
over
court.
here. Yeah,
Costume.
never again.
Love that.
We're a
No
professional
tarp.
team. Yeah, well, you got guys coming to the rink.
Ranger
in $60,000
jersey.
outfits. Now.
Ranger.
Things have changed.
Jersey, baby. That's what you wear. All right, our thanks to Kevin Cheveldayoff on our national show and Aaron Portzline during our Leaf Edition hour. 12 games, as our Sammy told you. Pick yours, and we're back tomorrow.